everybody. Officially, today is the last Sunday, 2012. We have had a year filled with both joy and sadness. I was extremely excited, but a little nervous when Mark asked me to do this service. But then not really, because I don't normally do this part, but just because the service is the last service of 2012. As I thought about subject matter, there were so many options and considerations. Should I bring some exceptional, vital message for the last service of the year? Should there be some review of what we've done? Maybe an evaluation of 2012. Not having much experience at this, I prayed about it, and I prayed about it, and then I prayed about it just a little bit more. Finally, one day, as I was, of all things, I was doing the dishes, an idea came to me. And let me tell you, for those of you who know me, dishwashing is so not something I enjoy doing. It's something I have someone else in my household do. But on this occasion, however, I am thankful that I was doing the task. There were so many things in 2012 for all of us to pray about, and for the most part, they were events that we had little or no control over, things that we couldn't change. But we could pray for comfort of others. So as a church, we prayed. Sometimes we prayed together, and sometimes we prayed privately. Taking a look back at 2012, as a church, we accomplished so much to further our mission as disciples of Jesus Christ. From local missions, Shepherd's Supper, the Clothing Center, Ramp It Up, for example, to missions that were intended to change the lives on the other side of the planet, such as the scholarship program for African University. We supported even the youngest members of our congregation when the Change for Change project for UNICEF ran in the fall, as well as countless efforts by the youth and the adults from every part of Central Life. We've done missions that have lasted a single day, a few weeks or months, and even some that we plan to do on an annual basis. So, my question to you is, would you say that we are content with our participation level? Let me rephrase. Are you content with our participation level as disciples of Christ? So now I want you to take that and put it in the back of your mind while I go off in another direction. Okay, so I get up in the morning, as do many of the people in this room, and like some of you, I get into my car, and while it's taking an eternity to warm up, in my head, I commence complaining about so many things. My car is just no longer new, and forget that new car smell. My car just simply smells like tacos. It could get better gas mileage, that's for sure. And my neighbor is driving the nicest, most efficient car that I have ever seen. But guess what? I say 4 little words to bring some perspective to myself as I sit in my car. Things could be worse. Okay? For me, I might not have a car at all. I would have no way to get my family to doctor's appointments or a number of other places. I know I would survive without a car, but it makes my life easier for sure, unlike many of the folks with families and children who are local and without a vehicle, and it's due to just the simple expense of a vehicle. So, moving on, most of us have been in a car, either riding or driving, maybe through your own neighborhood or through a neighborhood that is on the way from point A to point B. Along the way, you see houses. You see houses that are bigger, nicer, maybe even a little bit more modern than your house. Either way, You focus on how where you're living right at the moment is really not where you want to be. Personally, I fantasize about living in one of those giant homes on HGTV, mostly because my house was a fixer-upper when I bought it, and it's still a fixer-upper. But guess what? Can you say it with me? Things could be worse. You know what? I might not have a roof over my head. Our home might not have indoor plumbing. My family might not have access to clean running water. In the United States, in New York, in Binghamton, in Endicott, we are more fortunate than 95% of the planet's population. Lastly, for those of you who are not fortunate enough to be retired, some of us arrive at our job, our place of employment, and we have a million things to do. We have the post-holiday pressure and stress, the end-of-the-year reports. Some of you have coworkers who are just an acquired taste. Some of you are working with the public, meeting people from every situation that's in the world. You just can't imagine what other people are going through. Or perhaps your job is a tedious one. Maybe your pay has remained the same over time as the cost of living just climbs and climbs. And I know that you all know what I'm going to say. Things could be worse. All of us, any of us, could be without a job. We could be without a pension or benefits. We could have no income at all. We might not have our health. We could be minus the gifts and graces that God has blessed each and every one of us with. So now, I don't mean to make us sound completely discontented and greedy as God's children. The 4 words, things could be worse, that's what Luke is trying to say in the scriptures that I had the boys read earlier. He tells us that we do not consist in the abundance of our possessions. What Jesus was trying to teach in his parable from Luke is that we are content with things, but we are content with the wrong things. We need to be content with our possessions. Each one of us should take an inventory for the purpose of truly seeing how full our proverbial cup really is. At the same time, we need to act on that basic yearning, the yearning that's deep inside each one of us as Christians. We need to give in to the Spirit as it moves us to do more for Him. As disciples, it should be requisite to do more for our fellow man other than temporarily satisfying our own very being. So, going forward in 2013, I propose that when we make those New Year's resolutions, we make an effort to be content with what we have, but not with who we are. I propose that we let ourselves sense the Spirit pulling us to do even more to help our fellow man and give in to even if it means doing something that is not your thing. So, as I close, won't you pray with me as I borrow this prayer from Pastor Craig Groeschel? May God bless you with discomfort at easy answers, half-truths, superficial relationships, so that you may live deep within your heart. May God bless you with anger at injustice, oppression, and the exploitation of people, so that you may work for justice, freedom, and peace. And may God bless you with tears to shed for those who suffer from pain, rejection, and starvation, so that you may reach out your hand to comfort them and to turn their pain into joy. And may God bless you with enough foolishness to believe that you can make a difference in this world, so that you can do what others claim cannot be done. Amen.